Well, time flies when you're having fun, Kevin, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
But I'm sure you won't be sad to sort of leave the spotlight for a moment because it's getting very hot in here, isn't it?
Yeah, I think people could see it on their home screens, but yeah.
So you enjoy a breath of fresh air, and I know that you'll be back here for the wrap up later.
That's
but of
correct.
course, we still have quite a lot of program before that. For example, I mean, digital finance also means lots of data. What to do with the data, who owns the data, and how can you actually enable data-driven enterprise? And that is exactly the title of a presentation that is coming up now. So we welcome now an experienced sales manager with more than 25 years of consulting and sales practice in the financial services industry, with his many years of experience at the interface between banking and insurance-specific business requirements and technology, including AI, analytics, and data management. He's today leading the financial services team of Intersystems in the Germany, Austria, and Switzerland region, focusing on helping the industry make the most of their data. And I'm very happy, there he is, to welcome Jost Brehm. Take it away.
Hi, thanks for having me. So, hello and welcome. Enabling a data-driven enterprise. A brief introduction. My name is Jost Brehm. I'm a sales for financial services in the DACH region from Intersystems. Our company, if you're not familiar with Intersystems, we are a data management software company, a hidden champion of data management. Our software is used as more than half of the top banks worldwide to solve data management, integration, and analytics initiatives, especially for those companies who have lots of different sources and silo data across the enterprise. In this session, I will take you through the results of a survey we made for CDOs, and as you all know, this enabling a data-driven enterprise is difficult and not so easy if you don't start in the greenfield. And we want to support our customer with this study with interviews of hundreds of senior data executives in financial services companies. And I think you may find some of the issues they have very interesting around gaining access to trusted data, to accurate data across the organization, and to gain real-time visibility for all the initiatives like compliance or enterprise risk and improving the customer experience. So starting with one of the first questions was, what percentage of the data practice operating budget is dedicated to compliance activities? And as you see that most saying 40% or 50% of the budget is for compliance activities. That is on the one hand a lot, but on the other hand, it's the encouraging news is that company and to build customer-facing services, new services, and to help there. In the next point, there was a question of which are the following the regulatory concerns and what are the most resource intensive. So looking at the green bar, it's the primary area of concern. There you see that the risk data aggregation is the most important. Many different data from various silos with lowest possible latency. Second was CFO attestation, where you need a kind of holistic view on all the risk, because the CFO especially are accountable. Closely, third concern, CCAR, and if you look now to the blue bar, it shows what is consuming the most resources. And there it's know your customer, which is the most resource consuming. And that's relatively clear because it's it's relatively complex, harmonize all the data from different sources, and you need unstructured format like social media feeds, which you need to integrate in that. All this will get more resource hungry in the future with the automating coming, with processing, natural language processing, with running rule sets and machine learning and so on. But it will be more and more necessary. So looking at another question was, how many of the compliance efforts are performed manually? And this is interesting because many see that automation, say AI or machine learning, as one of the points which are very useful to automate. And as you see from this data, 40% or 50% efforts which are still manually show that there is a large field of automation possible. There was another question where 80% reported that they have all the compliance activities under control. But looking at this big manual part, it's still not, the solution is still not perfect. So automation is an ongoing process. You require to a lot of work and investment to all those initiatives. As you saw, it's the interviews were made with CDOs, and there is in general two parts of strategy. The one is the defensive data strategy that is focused on compliance, that is focused on risk. It's a bit like, if I use an analogy from football, it's training the goalkeeper, avoiding getting a goal and training the defense. While on the other hand, the offensive data strategy focuses more on making the game, training attack moves, scoring goals. And this is more on key business objectives, meeting their goals, boosting profitability, improving customer experience, which gets more and more important, and gaining insights for decisions. So this is, and there is clearly seen that this role of the CDO change, getting more and more in this offensive data strategy role, coming from the defensive one. And another question was, which of the following data management solutions are deployed? And there we see that the automated governance workflow, a lot of have started. You remind the 50%, which is still manually, there is a lot of focus because it absolutely helps in getting faster processes with and trying to solve their problems. Next is data quality analysis, catalog, and inventory, which is all data intelligence, kind of data intelligence, getting more understanding around the data, a lineage or business glossary. But if you use that all as separate products and tools, it's very complicated to get all the things together. And this is where the analysts found that this is interesting and maybe needs a bit of broader view. And Gartner and Forrester, they introduced the enterprise data fabric as a kind of, it's an architecture, it's not a product. And they invented it mid-2020. Gartner said data fabric as a future of data management, and the Forrester wave was on enterprise data fabric. The goal is to have an architecture with access to clean, harmonized data all across the silos, all across the enterprise. And what are the typical applications? Yeah, it's business management reporting. It's regulatory reporting, risk management, like enterprise or liquidity, and the open banking initiatives, and a lot of focus on CX and the digital transformation. And the next thing I want to talk to is one of the current customer implementations we made. It's an example from a customer from us. They needed help on replacing their batch business reports for the business heads, and they like to have live data. So data were coming out from several different production systems, from warehouse, from data marts, and so on. And what you need in this example, you need an integration layer, you need a multidimensional engine, you need lineage and governance, and an abstraction and semantic layer. This all combined with security, analytics and exploration, and data catalog. This is all for the data stewards. This is all included in Intersystems in our Aries data platform, which we provided for the customer. And you need some interfaces for with API or with SQL. The business applications themselves, like you see there, in the analytics space, there is Click, Power BI, or Tableau. Everyone has different preferences, which we think should be supported. And on the other hand, a lot of still use Excel. And for AI and machine learning, we have Data Robot and HDO, which all you can use for the data consumers for the business applications, where it's important to show the data visualization services and to generate new services for the business users. Yeah, it's always about gaining business values. Coming back to the enterprise data fabric functionality, as for instance, Forrester described it, there were 17 services like data connectivity, the pipeline discovery. You see it. They have lots of which we all support, and we say that we think there are some additional capabilities which are necessary, and we talk about then the smart data fabric. It's like you have a business intelligence included, machine learning included, you have a natural language processing, and so on. All this covered by you need a kind of process orchestration, and the database should be multi-model, that you don't need several databases for different workloads, and all that is very important on different deployments. In the future, we will have a mix. It will be on-prem, you have a public cloud, you have hybrid deployments, and you should be able to support all that. And this is what when we talk about smart data fabric, which should you include. We are Intersystems. We provide data management solutions for more than half of the top 20 global banks. We are privately held. We are since 40 years in the market. We are in our headquarters, our global headquarters in Boston. And our German headquarters is close to Frankfurt in Darmstadt. We are very proud to have received the highest rating for data management, especially for the customer's choice from Gartner, where we were placed on #1 in 2019 and 2020, and all from the others like Forrester class. We provide our local support for our DACH regions customers, for instance, out of Germany. There were several statements from the customers. There was one more from Gartner. They said it's best support in industry. Yeah, we are proud about that. So I hope you enjoyed the insights I shared with you. And I hope you start thinking about a smart data fabric to bring you views across the silos, to bring you one common view on the data, which is important for the future. You can connect with me directly via LinkedIn or via company email. And I'd like to thank you. You can download this study, and thanks for that.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Joost Breem, for this really interesting presentation and also for the invitation that people can connect with you. Can I just ask, will you also be using our platform, Swapcard, and maybe be there to interact with people interested in more of your insight via the chat? Yes, okay. So people can do that. Brilliant. Which brings me actually to the fact that I hope you all use all the different possibilities on that dashboard. We've so far had very few questions coming in from you for our panelists, but of course, I mean, it's always very, very short, those slots. And also for Joost, there could have been we would have had time for questions right now, but the good thing is he'll be still around. You can get in touch with him. You know that there is the community button, so you can get hold of people there. You can also check out the speaker button again, where you will find Joost as well, and hopefully make the most of it, because I'm sure if you pick his brain, there's much more Joost and also the other speakers can share with us. So Joost, thank you so much.